If you grew up in the mid-2000s like I did, then you probably remember the absolute chokehold that Guitar Hero and Rock Band once had on our society. I don't know if it was just because this box became the default Christmas present for most children in 2007, but Guitar Hero 3 was the first video game to ever pass $1 billion in sales, roughly the equivalent of 500 wireless controllers. But that means that in the span of less than 3 years, Guitar Hero went from not existing at all to becoming one of the most financially successful video game series ever made. In 2008, both Guitar Hero World Tour and Rock Band 2 came out. These games added other instruments into the mix, like a microphone that turned your living room into a karaoke bar, and drums that turned your downstairs neighbors into people considering arson. Together, these games sold over 6 million copies, and with endless possibilities for expansion, it seemed like these two franchises would be staples of the video game industry for years, if not decades to come. So what the hell happened? I guess in a perfect world, you would have just had to buy one game that you could continue to expand your library of songs on through reasonably priced DLC. Unfortunately, that is not the world that we were living in. Instead, Activision and EA chose to release full-priced games, not even once a year, every couple of months. Games that cost 60 American dollars and sometimes only featured songs from one band. All of these games came out within 2 years of each other. It was like they were determined to oversaturate their own market as quickly as possible, and most fans just couldn't keep up. Look, I was 15 in 2009. I didn't have $300 to spend every year so I could pretend to play the guitar. I had $3 to spend every year, and I used it to buy iced tea from 7-Eleven. These companies were led by people who expected to keep making $1 billion every time they put out a game, not considering the fact that most of those sales numbers came from the overpriced instruments that you only needed to buy once. We just wanted more songs, man. I don't need a different fake guitar. But despite now being dead and buried for the better part of a decade, there's been a little bit of a nostalgia-driven resurgence for Guitar Hero lately. There's a pretty dedicated online community that plays their own modded version of the game. The controllers are still just as expensive as they ever were, although that's more of a supply and demand issue. And when I went to a barcade a couple months ago for my friend's birthday, it was one of the only games that you had to wait in line for. That's right, Guitar Hero fever is back, baby, and you might want to call a doctor because I'm showing symptoms. I've got night sweats, heartburn. Sometimes when I get up too fast, I get kind of dizzy. So yeah, maybe the night of my aforementioned friend's aforementioned birthday party, I did go home and drunkenly buy Guitar Hero 3, a guitar for the Wii, and an adapter for PC. But as you've seen from the title, that's not my end goal here. I have a theory that if I spend enough time playing this guitar, I'll get better at this guitar. How? I don't know. I haven't made the video yet. Get off my ass. I've been playing the guitar for a little over 10 years now, which sounds impressive, as long as you don't ask me to play an E minor chord. I don't know what that means. Or a pentatonic scale. I don't know what that means. Or to point to a guitar. Is it this one? No, that's a lamp. Starting out, there were a lot of things I skipped that I probably shouldn't have. I didn't take lessons, I didn't learn scales, I certainly didn't learn music theory. What, do I look like a nerd to you? Don't answer that. I would just look up tabs for songs that I wanted to learn and then just keep practicing until I could play them. Tabs are great because they're like sheet music for idiots. Like, I have no idea what this note is, much less where to find it on the guitar. But if you just tell me which string to play and where to put my finger, it's pretty hard to mess that up. Most of the songs I learned starting out were just like simple arpeggios. Really, you can do a lot on the guitar just by playing 3 strings at a time and barely moving your hands. Then I got really into trying to learn guitar solos for a while, but like simple ones I could actually wrap my head around. I can never really do that part. What's cool about learning a guitar solo though is that they tend to use like every note that works in whatever key the song is in. So once you memorize that, you kind of know where all the notes are that work with the song, and then you can just play whatever you want.
Like, get a little silly, man. There's no rules here. There are still laws, and you will be punished if you break them, but there's no rules to playing the guitar. So just have fun. All I ever wanted to do on the guitar was learn how to write my own music. I enjoyed learning other songs, but mostly I was kind of just using those as a gateway to understanding how the guitar works. So as soon as I felt comfortable enough to start like writing my own stuff, which to be clear was all very simplistic, I stopped trying to learn things. And looking back on it, that was definitely a mistake. I think that has ultimately held me back from continuing to improve on a trajectory that would have been more satisfying for me. Instead of grinding through some of the more tedious foundational building blocks you're supposed to start with, I'd be like, yeah, but what if I just smack the guitar? That's kind of cool, right? And I had so many little epiphanies early on, and then I sort of just plateaued for a long time because I stopped trying to challenge myself. So all of that being said, why do I think that Guitar Hero could help me get better at the actual guitar if it only has 5 buttons and is made of plastic? Well, number one, timing. Even if you're playing something simple and repetitive, the game will get mad at you for playing off beat, so I think it could help developing more of an internal metronome. And number two is dexterity, which I don't have nearly enough of in my left hand. And if I ever want to be really good at the guitar, I have to be able to move my fingers real fast. That's just part of it. One of the big detours I took early on in my guitar journey, before I ever got that proficient with using my left hand, was learning how to tap with my right hand. I would just do this shit all the time. Yeah, I don't know, man, I'm not playing music, I'm just blowing off steam. Now, if I'm being honest, one of the main reasons I even learned how to do this in the first place was because I thought it would look cool, the most important factor when learning how to play an instrument. But I also realized that because I'm right-handed, it allowed me to do more with the hand that I'm actually good at doing stuff with, and take some of the onus off my left hand, which is for the most part stupid and useless. Like if I were trying to throw a frisbee with my left hand, it's not gonna go where I want it to. But I'm supposed to be able to do all this with it? Who decided that? I just feel like so much of my time playing guitar has been spent trying to make sure that my left hand doesn't have any responsibilities. Even the simplest shit I could possibly play, my instinct is to bring my right hand over to help because I'm scared of what my left hand might do if I leave him alone for 1 minute. I don't trust him. And my thinking is, on Guitar Hero, you have to use your left hand. The buttons are way too far away for me to go back and forth. So if I'm able to get really good at Guitar Hero, it will only be because my left hand did most of the work, and that's my goal with this video. God, no one is gonna give a shit about this.
The moment I opened this game up, I was hit with a tidal wave of nostalgia. The 2 different songs that play in the menu, despite there being like 75 songs in the game to choose from. The sitting there in awkward silence because you missed a note that was supposed to ring out for a really long time. And also that thing of wanting to activate star power so you can get more points, but immediately messing up because you had to move your hand to do it and it threw you off, so you're actually getting fewer points than you would have if you didn't activate star power in the first place. All these memories crashed into me like a truck. But as far as skill went, it was clear I had my work cut out for me. Gotta be honest, I kinda think I can do expert. I was wrong. So I started grinding. I played for like 11 hours the first 2 days, knocking out song after song after song. I felt so freaking cool, man. Even though I almost failed most of the time. I gotta be honest, I would rather barely pass a hard song with 3 stars than waste my time doing this boring shit. Let me pull up an easy song.
Wait a minute, is this kind of like how early on I never wanted to learn how to do scales because I thought they were boring and then I never ended up learning them at all, and that's part of the reason I'm even making this video in the first place? Am I just destined to keep repeating the same mistakes? Am I stupid?
Yes, sorry, I just checked and I already have 17 copyright claims on this video, so I'm gonna interrupt real quick to tell you about today's sponsor, SoFi, who's helping me give away $10,000 to someone watching this video right now. It could even be that person standing behind you. Who is that guy?
If you didn't already know, SoFi is the all-in-one finance app that helps you bank, borrow, and invest. Their checking and savings account can earn you up to 4.4% APY on your savings, which is 10 times the national savings rate average. A high-yield savings account is a great way to make your money work harder for you by earning you something back in interest without you having to do anything. A typical savings account at your local bank is only going to earn you about 0.42% in interest, which means in just 5 weeks, your money in a SoFi high-yield savings account with direct deposit will earn more in interest than it would in an entire year of sitting in a savings account at some big bank. You can also get paid up to 2 days faster with SoFi checking and savings, pay no account fees, and cash in on up to $250 when you sign up for direct deposit. Since SoFi is a nationally chartered bank, they're subject to just as strict regulatory standards as other banks, and you can also access additional FDIC insurance up to $2 million through a seamless network of participating banks. But the best part is, SoFi and I are giving away $10,000. To enter, sign up for a SoFi checking and savings account right now using my link, sofi.com/Drew. The link for that is in the description. You can also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. You could try scanning my face, but as far as I'm aware, nothing's gonna happen. My face is not a QR code. Thank you so much to SoFi for sponsoring this video, which will continue now.
So I would say at this point, my muscle memory is definitely starting to come back. I've gotten through most of the hard songs. As a kid, I only ever dabbled in hard. I never tried expert. It got to a point where medium was too easy for me, but I couldn't move up to hard because in hard, they add the 5th button and then you have to move your fingers. You can't just leave them in the same place the whole time. And as soon as I moved my hand once, I would just forget where I was and it would be a total disaster and then I'd choke and cry. But I think now as an adult, having played the actual guitar for a long time, I've built up a little bit of dexterity in my left hand. I'm smarter now. I'm taller. I'm maybe 1 inch tall. I haven't grown a lot since I was 15.
Okay, that part's hard. God damn it.
I fucked up as soon as I did the star power. Despite making a lot of progress the past couple weeks, it seems I have hit a wall. It took me 400 tries to even make it through the past couple of songs, and now I just have 1 left. Plus, I think an encore song. And I can't do it, man. I tried practicing it. I've tried slowing it down. I can't. I'm too stupid. I don't know what to do. I had reached an impasse right at the end of hard, but also near the middle of expert.
I'm gonna fail this. I just know I'm gonna fail this.
Dude, I don't think this is making me better at guitar. I'm hitting the notes!
It's not me. It's the game.
Here, I want to try something.
Told you it was a game.
So here's where I took a pretty long break from Guitar Hero 3 in favor of Clone Hero, which is a reimagining of the original game series, but anyone can add songs to it. And apart from the Xbox 360 era graphics and the Lego Star Wars-esque dialogue, both of which I do like a lot, they're very charming. Clone Hero is superior to Guitar Hero in pretty much every single way, mostly because of the amount of content people have added to it. Playing through songs on here that I never in a million years thought I would get the chance to was a life-changing experience. If they had all this emo shit on Guitar Hero back when I was 16 and extremely sad, I never would have left my room. Instead, I never left my room because I was playing Halo. I cannot stress enough how much this game feels like it was tailor-made in a laboratory specifically for me. They have every Hail the Sun song on here. That's my favorite band. They have songs from Save Us from the Archon, a band I thought 12 people had ever listened to. They have Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts. I thought that song only existed inside the universe of the Cars movies. Part of the reason I've barely posted videos the past couple months is because I cannot stop playing this game. I thought I'd have this video done in April, and now it's the middle of July. What the hell, man? It's so cool to me that I can go on here and pretend to play songs by The Contortionist and Covet and Last Dinosaurs and Lady Gaga. I'm just kidding about that last one, by the way. I thought I would like playing Poker Face, but who did this? This is not how the song goes. You tricked me.
It had been about 2 months of playing Clone Hero every single day, and I was feeling pretty good about my progress. I'd get new personal bests almost every time I played a song. I got pretty consistent with hitting these big sweeps, as long as the notes are in order, otherwise my brain shuts down trying to figure it out. But even though I was getting a lot better, something kept eating at me. It was like I had forgotten the whole point of making this video in the first place.
Oh, I still need to finish Guitar Hero.
And you guys aren't gonna believe what happened next. I finally beat the song. This shit was the bane of my existence a month and a half ago, and now I just breeze through it on my first try? What the hell? I didn't know you could get better at stuff. I've grown, guys. This is growth. I guess it wasn't the game this whole time. It was me. Maybe I should stop blaming others for my shortcomings and just try to focus on being the best version of myself I can.
I'm gonna fucking kill someone.
Okay, so maybe I still can't do that song, but that's fine. I'm clearly better at the game now. I just can't do that one thing. And it doesn't bother me that I can pass all these other songs, except for the one that I have left to finish the game. That doesn't make me mad or piss me off or whatever it is you're thinking right now. I couldn't care less.
I think the guy who wrote this song should be in jail.
No, you're right. I could care less. Which is to say that I care a lot about how it's been 2 months and I still can't do this.
At least I get to listen to this shit over and over again.
Maybe I should just give up.
All right, new tactic. Oh my God, it's working. Why didn't I do this earlier?
Oh my God, I finally did it. And all I had to do this whole time was stop trying to play it correctly and instead just mash a bunch of buttons and strum as fast as I could. I'm tricking the game into thinking
Oh wait, I've never gotten this far.
Is that it? Is that the last note? Did I do it after 2 months? I do rock! I'll be sure to remember this piece of advice when I go back to the regular guitar. When in doubt, just play whatever you want and no one will notice.
Never mind, that doesn't work. It only works in the game, I'm sorry.
All right, regular guitar update. I don't really know how to track my progress on here. With Guitar Hero, they give you a score every time, but this guy doesn't tell me shit. I think playing the game at least is putting me in more of a headspace to want to practice every day. Like, it's a constant reminder that, like, it's fun to play music, which I forget sometimes, and then I don't touch my guitar for 2 months. I wrote a new song, so that's probably something. The other night I was playing around and I found some chords that I liked, and then I recorded that. And then the next day, I just kind of played it over and over again until I found a melody I liked, and then I put the two parts together and uploaded it on Instagram. And now that it's documented somewhere, I can safely forget how to play it. In fact, I already have. I feel like maybe there's a little bit more fluidity in my left hand now, but it also kind of comes and goes. I would say my biggest takeaway so far is that if nothing else, Clone Hero is a really fun way to warm up your hands before moving on to practicing the actual guitar. There's so many finger exercises and little warm-ups out there, but I'm here to say, don't bother with any of that. Just do this for 20 minutes. It's so much more fun.
I've encountered another pretty big distraction that's put a slight delay on this video. I learned how to make songs on Clone Hero, and now I can't stop doing it. It's such a slow and tedious process, and it's probably the most fun I've ever had doing anything. I first decided I wanted to do one because this band called Sea in the Sky just released a new EP, and it's great. I love this band. I think they're super underrated. You should check them out. Anyway, they've got this short little instrumental song in the middle of the EP, and I thought this is the perfect first song for me to chart, to learn how to use this software. So I spent several hours doing that, and I think it turned out pretty good. I had to tweak it a bunch because I had no idea what I was doing the first time, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out. So then I tried doing another song from the EP, and this one was going great too, until I got to the guitar solo at the end. I don't know, man. I just threw a bunch of notes down. I have no idea what he's playing. And then I was like, I can't believe there's no Explosions in the Sky songs on this website. They're one of the most popular guitar-driven instrumental bands from the past 20 years. I'll do my two favorites. And then about 9 hours later, I realized why no one's ever charted one of these songs before. It's probably because they're all 10 minutes long. It's really hard to figure out which guitar part to focus on at any given time. And also, by the time I was done making it, it wasn't even that fun to play. There's actually a few songs on Clone Hero that weren't nearly as fun to play as I'd hoped they'd be. But then even more songs that I thought were way more fun than I expected. Perfect example of this is this band called Intervals, who I like, but I wouldn't say I love. They do have one song that I love called Fable. It's got a sax solo in it, made me cry the first time I heard it. And I think it's cool that the bass player plays a solo anytime they play that song live. Anyway, this song is fun as hell to play on Clone Hero. This game really makes you feel like you're playing the saxophone on a plastic guitar. But what I was saying is that even the interval songs that I wouldn't have said I like that much are so fun to play on this game that it's making me appreciate them more and listen to them a little bit differently. And I think that was something that happened on the original Guitar Hero and Rock Band games for a lot of people. In a lot of cases, it would be the first time where you really listened in on a guitar riff rather than just the vocals, and you'd be like, oh, I've never noticed that little melody right there. Or like, oh, that's cool how they mix that up for the second verse. The bridge is the best part of Ocean Avenue, not the chorus. I would say that's one of the lasting legacies of the Guitar Hero series, is how many people it inspired to pick up the guitar, learn how to play, to just appreciate music a little bit differently. So I salute you, Guitar Hero series, for inspiring a whole bunch of young people to learn how to play the guitar and start a band that goes on to make absolutely no money because the music industry is in shambles.
As I neared the end of my journey, it got to the point where I had just one guitar battle left. Granted, it was versus the devil himself, and turns out he's pretty good at guitar. But one battle left that I just had to make it to the end of, and the game would be over, and I could not do it. I spent hours playing this song, but no matter what I did, he would always defeat me.
Get a new trick, man.
I dropped my phone.
Now, I do kind of have an excuse for this. The attacks you deal in guitar battles are dispersed at random, and one of them does this thing where you can't play any notes until you hit the whammy bar a bunch. Not a big deal, right? Wrong. It is a big deal. Because even though during the rest of the game I have no issues using the whammy bar, for whatever reason in this moment the game does not register that I'm hitting it and I lose automatically. This battle brought me to my breaking point.
He got two! He got two!
So I regret to inform you that even after spending 4 long months trying to get as good at Guitar Hero as I possibly could, I'm giving up right before the end. Is what I would say if I was a quitter, so I marched back. No, I'm sorry to even get your hopes up. I wrote that into the script hoping it might motivate me to finish the job. It did not. But then I thought, what if I set the bar a little lower?
I'm gonna try to get a perfect score on this song, so at least that I can do something that is impressive to anybody out there at all. Fuck! I think I can get a perfect score on this song. This one's pretty simple. Look, the stars look different. I've never seen that before. Is that the easiest one in the game? Perhaps. But I did it on expert.
Yeah, so maybe I'm not the best at Guitar Hero, and never will be. But I'm pretty good at Guitar Hero, and that's a lot more than I could say a couple months ago. So no matter what all the haters and losers out there try to say about me, I don't care, because I'm proud of myself. Unfortunately, I did lock myself in my closet.
I decided as we near the end of this video that I should do something I've been avoiding for the past 10 years. I'm gonna learn a scale. I did it. The only other thing I wanted to do at this point to prove to myself that I've improved is write one last song about my journey. Something that I felt would musically represent the highs and lows that I experienced over the course of the Guitar Hero 3 solo campaign. The bittersweet feeling that came with getting so close to the end, but still being unable to defeat the devil because he cheated.
I'm having so much fun playing this game. Just one song left and I win. Wait, is that the devil? When did the devil learn guitar? Suck my ass, devil. Wait, hold on. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna beat the devil.
But I also knew that this video wouldn't be complete until I took everything I learned into the real world and played a show in front of a live audience. Only then will I know how far I've come.
I've been working on this song for a couple months now. I'm a little nervous to perform, but it's a song that means a lot to me, and you know, I hope you like it too. If you know it, sing along.
So last night I went to an open mic in Castleberry, Florida. I signed up, paced around nervously until it was my turn, and then I went up and played my heart out. I was so nervous beforehand about the performance and having to set up real quick. I knew I was going to have to put my laptop on top of an empty box on top of an end table because that's what I had practiced at home. Could I have taken 10 extra seconds to connect to the Bluetooth speakers that everyone else was using? Yeah. But you know, this way it was more intimate. You really had to be up close to enjoy it. I gotta be honest, I spent the past few weeks thinking about every possible outcome for this, and this was probably the best one. Everyone was so excited, they were clapping and singing along. I mean, it is a universally beloved song. I was a little worried they'd get mad at me because there were like actual musicians there performing real songs that they wrote, and then I just went up to do a bit for a YouTube video, but they were really nice about it. Huge shout out to Suva Kava Cafe. Everyone there is awesome. I really could not have asked for a more supportive environment in which to share my art. And I think I'll end by saying this. If I can stand in front of a room of 29 confused strangers and pretend to play Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts in its entirety, then you can do anything. Thanks for watching, guys.
Live from New York, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. Hey guys, welcome back to Lorne Michaels' basement. He told me he wouldn't let me out of here until I made another video about his show. So I'm a big SNL fan, and I'm not just saying that because of the current hostage situation. I've actually been watching it since I was a kid. I'm one of the biggest defenders of the show. I love it for what it is. I like the format. I like the excitement of doing a live show and discovering new, young, talented people. And I'm always impressed by the work that goes into it, like building giant set pieces and elaborate props in just a few short days every week. That being said, there's still plenty to criticize about the show, from some of their questionable hosting choices to the painfully cringy sketches they roll out from time to time. But nothing is more annoying to me than the blanket statement that SNL hasn't been funny in 20 years. No, 50 years. Hell, they haven't made me laugh since 1932, when One-Eyed Leslie did his world-famous Calvin Coolidge impression. Those were the good old days. These are the type of comments you'll hear on random YouTube videos, SNL's Instagram page, or shouted from someone's front porch. And I've always been curious to go back and see what all the fuss is about. The way these people describe the show would make you think it looks like this, when in reality I would bet it's a little bit more like this. And now that every episode ever made is available on Peacock, a service I will stop using the moment I'm done with this video, I figured why don't I go back and actually watch some of these episodes? Only then can I give an accurate take on the evolution of the show. Here goes nothing. The very first episode of Saturday Night Live looked a lot different than what would become of the show. The host was comedian George Carlin, and he didn't appear in any of the sketches. He just did a few sets of stand-up in between them and introduced the musical acts, which included two really great performances from Billy Preston. I liked a lot of his jokes, but there was one line in particular that influenced how I watched the rest of the episodes.
Do you ever look at the crowds in old movies and wonder if they're dead yet?
God damn it, now I'm gonna do that. The pilot was more of a true variety show, in the literal sense of the word. You had some stand-up, a bunch of songs, this classic bit by Andy Kaufman, who had no affiliation with the show and came on just to do this, a random Muppet sketch, and even a short film just thrown into the middle. It seemed like the goal of this was to appeal to as many people as possible and quickly move on from thing to thing, just in case the audience might start dozing off. This was actually one of the first things I noticed about the episodes was how short the sketches were. For the most part, they were just one joke. Setup, punchline, move on to the next. They were definitely just as hit or miss as SNL has always been, but this is a pretty far cry from the current shows where every other sketch goes on just a little bit too long. For a pilot episode, this was a pretty fun time all around and had a good flow to it. I hope they get picked up for season 2. Okay, forget what I said about the sketches being too short. I guess they stopped doing that. The worst one in this episode went on for almost 12 minutes. And it didn't really have like a theme or a joke throughout. It was just a bunch of wacky characters taking turns being wacky.
I am a leaf.
The audience seemed to like a lot of these sketches, but most of them didn't really do it for me. My favorite part was Steve Martin's monologue.
Excuse me.
You'll probably be seeing a lot of him in this video because he used to host the show all the time, and he's also one of my favorite comedians. Guess who hosted this season? That's right, O.J. Simpson. If you don't know who O.J. is, he was a football player turned movie star, and then nothing else of note happened. He did a pretty good job on the show, but man, 70s humor is just not for me. The leadoff sketch in this episode was John Belushi as a samurai, and I don't understand what the bit is or why the whole thing culminated in a big dance number. Bill Murray's on the show now, which is cool, but I think my favorite cast member from this era is Jane Curtin. I love her delivery, and I can definitely see how she ended up inspiring a bunch of younger writers and comedians like Tina Fey. I thought this joke was hilarious about a former attorney general who was being given a 2-week furlough from prison in order to get hip replacement surgery.
According to our sources, Mitchell's secret plan is to systematically replace every limb, organ, joint, and gland in his body. Send his new version back to prison, thus allowing the original to visit himself on weekends.
This was an easy choice. Carrie Fisher hosted in season 4. She was fresh off the success of Star Wars, which was like a space movie from the 70s. It kind of flew under the radar. They had her play Princess Leia in her monologue and the first sketch, which was set in the 50s. I love watching older generations make fun of even older generations. I don't know, it's like a time capsule within a time capsule. Nothing in this episode really stood out to me though, but it was fun to see a young Carrie Fisher get to play a bunch of characters. I will say the worst sketch in this one made me feel like I was watching a Lele Pons video because everybody was just yelling.
Gene, who's the young man you're seeing tonight?
His name's Rap.
Okay, so I've watched 5 episodes so far, and I would put the hit rate at about 15 to 20%. Which is not so good. All of their pre-recorded bits, or analog shorts, if you will, are almost unwatchable because of how bad they look. This one in particular was basically just what every child makes when they get their first camera for Christmas.
Gee, there's nothing left. Oh.
I do enjoy the sketches that feel very Steve Martin-y. He has a particular style that I think is timeless. This bit where a Roman army kept getting pranked by vandals who like TP'd them and ordered anchovy pizzas and made them pay for it was pretty silly. I liked it. But in just a few short months, things at SNL were about to get weird. In season 6, the show got turned upside down. Lorne Michaels left because he was feeling burnt out, and his successor fired the entire cast and replaced them with 15 new people, 12 of whom only lasted 1 season. The show changed too dramatically, was hated by people who stuck around to watch it, and the ratings plummeted. For the next year, NBC was on the verge of canceling SNL altogether, which would have made this video a lot shorter. Whenever I hear someone say that SNL hasn't been funny since the 70s, I now picture them watching this season and then writing off the show forever. I watched the first episode and it feels like a weird dream. It's so strange seeing something that looks like Saturday Night Live, but not recognizing a single face besides Elliot Gould. There's something so amateur about the whole thing. It almost feels like I'm watching a political episode of All That. It probably didn't help that they introduced newcomer Charles Rocket as
kind of a cross between Chevy Chase and Bill Murray.
Which is an unbelievably high bar to cross, especially for someone so uncharismatic and bad at jokes.
Hey, how about that, huh? The rings of Saturn.
It's no wonder they only let him do 5 episodes of Weekend Update before adding a co-anchor to the mix.
Hamilton Jordan created the new Secretary of State designate and his wife this week. Pictured here are Ham and Higgs.
Oh no, she sucks too! Anyway, I can't decide if my favorite sketch was the nose wrestling competition or when these shoes had sex. Should I be censoring this? Jesus Christ. It seemed like they were simultaneously trying to distance themselves from the SNL of the past. For example, they renamed Weekend Update as Newsbreak, while also latching on to anything they could to offer recognizability to longtime viewers. Sure, we may not have Bill Murray anymore, but we do have his brother. I would describe this period as the pun era. era, because boy did they love those.
A crazed reindeer can inflict sleigh bees.
Honestly, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that Eddie Murphy might have single-handedly saved the show. He was one of the only cast members to survive this season, and obviously ended up being one of the biggest stars people think of when they talk about SNL. Danny DeVito hosted in '82, and they threw him into a sketch called The Whiners. Can you guess what their thing is?
But it'll stick out and I won't have any room for my feet.
That's right, they whine.
It's still cold.
Now imagine watching 5 minutes of this. Rick Moranis hosted in '83, but not by himself. I've never seen dual hosts before. Oh, please, God, no, not the whiners again. Thank you. Finally, Robin Williams hosted in '84, and they let him do Weekend Update, which had again been rebranded, this time as SNL News. I think they were just looking for any excuse not to have their regular anchor Brad Hall do it, because he was boring. Once again, Eddie is pretty much carrying the show on his back at this point. I can't imagine how much worse it would be without him. Hey, speaking of back, Lauren is, and SNL's finally good again. Just kidding. The '85 season is almost an even bigger disaster than 1980. Did you know Robert Downey Jr. was on the cast this year? Huh? It's pretty crazy how forgettable his time was here, but the whole theme of this season is crazy. The main difference between this and season 6 is that this time they tried to play into the absurdity a little bit, sort of winking at the audience as if to say, yeah, this season's a little weird, but we know that it's weird.
NBC has asked me to read the following statement concerning last year's entire season. It was all a dream. A horrible, horrible dream.
And I think their self-awareness only worked here because they were able to quickly transition back into being pretty solid again. '86 was Dana Carvey's first season, and he stood out immediately. You also had Kevin Nealon joining, Victoria Jackson, Phil Hartman. In 1987, they hired 3 new writers, Bob Odenkirk, Greg Daniels, and Conan O'Brien, which is like an all-star team. Some of the sketches from this period are so silly that I feel like they have to have been written by either Bob or Conan. I feel like I remember seeing this a long time ago, but they opened season 14 with a sketch about a bank giving out change, but they basically just keep listing different combinations.
We are not going to give you change that you don't want. If you come to us with a $100 bill, we're not going to give you 2,000 nickels, unless that meets your particular change needs.
And it works because of how earnest he is.
We will give you the change equal to the amount of money that you want change for.
I actually ended up watching multiple shows from 1988 because this was easily my favorite season so far. Matthew Broderick's monologue was great. He turned it into a lesson on how to do a monologue. And then I don't know why I like this one so much, but they did one where he was nervous to go to a nude beach, but his friend assured him, hey, in 5 minutes, you'll completely forget that you're naked. And then the rest of the sketch was like this.
I'd like you guys to meet Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hi, guys.
Hey, pretty small penis there.
It's such a simple idea, but I thought they pulled it off pretty well.
You want to see my pictures from Barbados?
Yeah, sure.
All right, there I am with some friends on a catamaran.
Penis looks great.
I think that's how you could describe a lot of the good sketches at the time. Simple ideas that were just well executed. Toonce's The Driving Cat is another favorite of mine.
The driving test.
Do you think Toonce's will pass his driving test?
I don't know, that written part is pretty hard.
Maybe he'll make up for it on the driving part.
Damn, I wish I could help him.
There's also the commercial for Long White Beard, which you can wear sarcastically when you're trying to show someone they've kept you waiting. In 1989, Rick Moranis hosted again with a monologue that made me out of breath just watching it. But my favorite sketch was at the end, where the new MLB commissioner holds a meeting about how they're going to honor the former commissioner who had died a couple months prior.
I request that the players of each team wear black armbands with Bart's initials in honor of this great man.
But then they just keep listing more and more things they're going to name after him until it gets totally ridiculous.
And left field, Bart's favorite position, will be known as Bartland, USA.
I can definitely see why people consider the late 80s to be one of the first golden eras of SNL. There was a really great combination of talented writers and performers who were open to silly ideas that I think are still funny today. It also helped the show revive its reputation after a tumultuous start to the decade. It didn't take long for them to transition into their second golden era, which was the early 90s. The cast now included Chris Farley, Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, David Spade, Mike Myers, all of whom went on to become big stars in one way or another. If I'm being honest though, I think this period is a little overrated. Chris Farley was electric. Everything he was in was better because he was in it. But other than that, I feel like people assume this period was good because of the names. Like Adam Sandler, he was hilarious back then. right?
That was 10 years ago!
You see, he and SNL have a similar reputation in that a lot of people think they're not funny now, but they used to be. And I just don't know if Adam Sandler has ever been that funny. He's extremely likable on the show, and I think that's why so many people gravitated towards him, but he's not a great joke writer, and a lot of his iconic characters from the time seem like something a teenager would come up with. I think he's made a couple really good movies, a few pretty good movies, and a handful of fun songs on SNL, but the best thing he ever did was surround himself with more talented people. Some of his most beloved sketches from this era are ones in which Chris Farley is doing 100% of the heavy lifting, and that's fine. It's an ensemble show, that's how it works. I just think his contribution to SNL gets a little overstated because of the notoriety that comes with his name. I also feel like the writing dipped here despite all of the talent from the cast, not named Rob Schneider. Once they found a character people liked, they would drive that shit into the ground. A tradition that, to be fair, has continued ever since. The first time Chris Farley did Matt Foley is probably one of the best SNL sketches ever. His physicality, the other actors slowly breaking, the palpable excitement from the audience, it's impossible to watch this without smiling. But then they did it 7 more times in 3 years, and it got a little less fun every time. Overall, I feel like the sketches stopped being as creative as they were in the late 80s. Like they were taking fewer chances. There was a lot of stoner dudes and cross-dressing, which was like a comedy cheat code at the time. We'll just throw one of the guys in a dress, and that's the entire joke. The risky, oddball ideas were fewer and more far between, but when they did come, they were great. Phil Hartman as the unfrozen caveman lawyer got a good chuckle out of me. Sketches like this are always going to be more memorable than like teenage kids telling their mom to shut up, or guys who hide weed in antiques.
Put your weed in there. And you put your weed in there. You put your weed in there.
You know, I take it back. Maybe the smartest thing Adam Sandler ever did was stand in the same room as Rob Schneider, who makes everyone around him seem funny in comparison. Despite such a large, star-studded cast, in 1995 the show was in danger of being canceled yet again. And NBC forced Lorne to fire Adam Sandler and Chris Farley, I think because at that point they were making more money than everybody else. Lucky for them, it took all of 1 season to find replacements in Tim Meadows, Molly Shannon, Chris Kattan, Daryl Hammond, Anna Gasteyer, and of course Will Ferrell, who became the new face of the show. I wouldn't say they hit their stride right away though. Will stood out pretty quickly, but it wasn't until a couple years in when the sketches started getting more consistent. Steve Buscemi hosted in '98, and in his monologue he tried to prove that he wasn't just a serious actor by doing improv comedy.
Okay, audience, let's try another location.
A nursery school?
Now that sucks.
Surprisingly, my favorite sketch in this episode was a fake Disney movie trailer where they turned the Titanic into an animated musical for kids.
Don't miss Tiny, or your child will hate you.
Growing up, I always hated these animated sketches. The worst sound to hear in the middle of the show was this, because I knew I was not gonna like it. But this one was alright. When Weekend Update rolled around, I was very confused when Colin Quinn showed up. I thought I was familiar with every Weekend Update host. I was wrong. Apparently, Norm Macdonald got fired mid-season because he made too many O.J. Simpson jokes, and one of NBC's executives was friends with O.J. If that story is true, it's funnier than anything this guy said in his 2 years on the show. Finally, in '99, Tobey Maguire hosted, which I thought was weird because I didn't think he became a big star until Spider-Man came out a few years later. He did a couple impressions the audience really loved. Keanu Reeves on Celebrity Jeopardy.
Keanu Reeves, you look rather pleased. Let's see what you wrote down. Nothing. The question was right, anything, and you got it wrong.
And Screech from Saved by the Bell. He was a natural, and Will Ferrell was also really great in this episode. There's a reason why he's the defining member of this cast. If I had to pick, I'd say the 2 worst parts of this episode were Jimmy Fallon as Hilary Swank.
I'm a girl, you know.
And this sketch with a Sherry O'Terry character named Nadine. Now, if you're a little older than me, you might be thinking, wait, I remember that character. She's the Simmer Down Now lady. I loved those sketches. And I would just say, maybe go back and watch a full sketch. Although I enjoyed her performance here, I don't love that the joke is just that they say simmer down now like 30 times.
Simmer down now. Simmer down now. Tell David's on a seatbelt. Simmer down now too.
This style of catchphrase comedy has been one of my least favorite parts of SNL, and something I think has plagued the show for the past 3 decades. Okay. There's a difference between repeating a joke but heightening it each time, and just saying the same thing over and over and over and over. This happened again in the next episode I watched with Conan. I was really excited about this. I didn't even know he had ever hosted, but one of the first sketches they did was him famous Molecular Man, where he just kept repeating his catchphrase. And I get that the joke was that he was giving away his identity every time he would say that, but it was still kind of annoying. It's okay though, they made up for it by doing this sketch where he's a doctor.
Hello there, Mr. Burrenwall Brown.
Who has to break the news to his patient that in order to save his life during surgery, they had to remove his taint.
Are you talking about my fleshy fun bridge? You bastard! You butchered me!
Horatio Sands is so good in this. If he didn't sell it as well as he did, it wouldn't have worked at all, but his devastation is hilarious.
Oh, he can't work. He lost his taint. Oh.
This was another fantastic cast. While most of them didn't turn into big movie stars like the cast from the early 90s did, they were all really funny performers who were perfect for this show. You had Rachel Dratch, Maya Rudolph, Tracy Morgan, Chris Parnell, and Tina Fey started doing Update with Jimmy Fallon, who I guess just woke up from a nap. The Britney Spears episode in 2002 was really good. She nailed Barbie, which may not sound like a compliment, but it is. She was really funny in this, right down to the arm movement. I also like this sketch about a news show where everything kept going wrong, and the rest of the episode was forgettable. Will Ferrell moved on from SNL after this season, but I think he left the show in pretty good hands, with Fred Armisen and Will Forte joining at the same time in season 28. You know, as much as I'd love to see Al Gore, John McCain, or Jeff Gordon host, what the fuck happened here? I went with another Britney, this time Murphy. I actually do kind of like the Leatherman sketches that Jimmy and Horatio did, but you're not gonna believe it, they actually broke character during it. What? I've never seen them do that before. Two of the most popular SNL sketches of all time came when Lindsay Lohan hosted in 2004, but I was more interested in watching the Olsen twins host the season finale together.
New York Minute, a very good movie. You
know what? Never mind. Tom Brady hosted in season 30. Wow, is there anything this guy can't do?
I am the bear, shuffling guy. Shuffling on down, don't ask me why.
Oh, comedy. Maybe he really is human after all. For some reason, season 31 barely exists online. The longest episode available is only 26 minutes, and a third of it is Dane Cook's stand-up. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't very excited for this episode as a kid. And seeing this turtleneck sketch again brought back a memory I forgot I had. I actually told my friend about this skit the following Monday, hyping both it and Dane Cook as the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Everyone makes mistakes. The best part of this episode, at least that's been preserved on the internet, is this Taco Town digital short.
Pizza? Now that's what I call a taco.
And that brings me to the most formative years of my SNL memory, What do they say about SNL? Everybody's favorite cast is the one from when they were a teenager. Well, I was 12 in 2006. So this was my favorite. Part of the reason I wanted to make this video was actually to go back and watch these episodes in full to see if they are really as great as I remember them being, or if I'm doing what the generation before me does to the Adam Sandler era. And wouldn't you know it, these episodes aren't perfect either. I've been lied to by my own brain. I chose the Matthew Fox episode because I've actually been rewatching Lost recently, and I wanted to relive what it was like when that show was America's biggest cultural phenomenon. I like the Lost-related sketch, and I always thought the MTV4 show they did was pretty funny. In this one, Maya sang a song called Tiny Moves, where she did tiny dance moves, but the rest of the show fell kind of flat. In 2008, Shia LaBeouf hosted, which made this a pretty easy choice for me. Part of the fun of SNL is how they preserve specific moments from these celebrities' peaks of stardom. Also, I remember liking this episode. There were 3 really great sketches: an old game show that turned into a murder investigation, a scared straight bit with Keenan, and this one where Shia and Andy buy drinks for 2 women who are very enamored with them.
Well, why choose one when you can have them all?
Oh, you mean an 8-way?
When it rains, it pours.
Also, I never really liked the Vinny DiVecchi sketches growing up because I didn't understand them, but watching them as an adult, I appreciate them a lot more. Especially how Will Forte never has any lines, but he's always in the background just eating spaghetti. I do have to dock a couple points for having probably the worst digital short out of the 100 or so that they made.
Best look in the world!
There's a reason I have no memory of this. Speaking of young celebrities in the peak of their stardom, a long-haired Zac Efron hosted in 2009 and performed a bunch of sketches that SNL's YouTube page has probably recommended to you at some point. There's the bar that doesn't card, which Zach and Andy think is really cool until they realize there's like 8-year-olds in here.
Whoa, whoa, careful guys. They're gerbils.
Gerbils?
Yeah, it's the opposite of cougars.
There's Troy Bolton going back to East High to warn everyone that nobody sings in college and everybody in this school got a terrible education.
I learned that I don't have to play into stereotypes that people have for me. I can be a jock and a dancer.
What's the capital of Texas?
Texas City?
Texas Town.
Yeah.
And finally, this one with Fred Armisen.
I am your mother!
The next season had my favorite of John Hamm's 3 times hosting, though this is one of those episodes that's a little rough on rewatch because it's like way too long political cold open, boring topical sketch that is obviously no longer topical. And now that that's out of the way, we can get to the funny stuff. Like this sketch that I've always loved with the musical guest Michael Bublé called Ham and Bubbly, a pork/champagne restaurant they started where you slowly realize that John is holding him hostage.
If you can find a better place for pork and champagne, keep it to yourself.
Then there was a commercial for the Closet Organizer, which is just Will Forte in a blue morph suit.
Stars! Dockers! Water! All it needs is 2 meals a day and a little bucket to do its business in.
And then you forget about that for a minute, you watch this sketch with Fred Armisen as a distracting courtroom stenographer, and then they end the show with something I've never seen on SNL.
I know you from somewhere. Are you on TV?
A callback to one of the sketches from earlier.
You're the freaking closet organizer guy, aren't you? Marbles! Pies, pies, pies!
In season 36, Emma Stone hosted, and she's one of those people like John Hamm and Ryan Gosling that elevate the episode whenever they're on. Some guests you kind of have to work around and give them small parts and things and not too many wordy lines. So it's always nice when the host can carry a sketch on their own, especially when the show's trying to navigate cast turnover. This season had a lot of Abby Elliott and Paul Britton, 2 people who never really made a huge impact on anything. This Weekend Update was also great. They had Stefan and also John Mulaney as himself, something he did twice while writing for the show.
I love to watch any movie that stars an animal because the animal does not know that it is in a movie.
Daniel Radcliffe was really good in season 37. They did a Harry Potter sketch where he's sort of a has-been at Hogwarts but doesn't want to accept it. But my favorite was probably Spin the Bottle.
Make sure it lands on me.
I'll try.
Bobby Moynihan was awesome on SNL, and I miss him a lot.
Where'd you come from? I fell from heaven. JK. The woods.
And finally, season 38 was the last season for Fred, Bill, and Jason Sudeikis. So this truly was the end of an era. Obviously, Bill and Fred were dynamic performers who had a massive impact on the show, but I think Jason was a huge loss as well. It's easy to overlook the importance of the regular dude in sketches. You don't always realize how valuable they were until they're gone. Since then, they've tried to fill those roles with Taran Killam and Mikey Day, but Jason had such an affability to him that I don't think they've been able to fully replace since he left. Anyway, I chose the Bruno Mars episode, and outside of the monologue song, a sketch about creepy animatronics, and the surprisingly earnest sad mouse, there wasn't anything here to write home about. And now, they're all gone. Sometimes when I think about modern SNL, I think, you know, they're still kind of in a transitional period. They're still figuring stuff out. And then I realized it's been like 9 years already. And upon rewatching the shows from 2013 on, I realized a lot of them aren't even that bad, or at least not that much worse than the shows I've spent the past 3 weeks watching. The cast is still extremely talented, although maybe not always used in the best way. But this period had Kate McKinnon, Bobby Moynihan, Aidy Bryant, Vanessa Bayer, who was super underrated, and Taran Killam had some really funny characters that killed every time. A lot of this, though, I appreciate more in hindsight. I was less excited to watch SNL at the time and often didn't. And yeah, I think it dropped a little bit in quality, but that had more to do with the fact that I was like 20 years old at that point and I was more critical of the things I watched. So I completely understand why people older than me did the same thing to the mid-2000s cast that I grew up on. So 2013 to 2016 is sort of the modern SNL but pre-Trump era. And I feel like it was like right when they were starting to find their comedic footing again, here comes Alec Baldwin. Now, I've talked about this before, but one misconception people have is that SNL got political in 2016, as if that's not something they've ever done before. In the past few weeks, I've watched them make fun of Obama, Hillary Clinton, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, Al Gore, Mitt Romney, George Bush 1 and 2, and now they make fun of Biden.
Kamala Harris will become the first vice president to be featured as a wax figure at Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, while Joe Biden is the first wax figure to become president.
And sure, like a lot of people, I prefer the non-political sketches, but let's not act like this is some new thing they're trying. It's like saying I used to like SNL,
until they started having musical guests. Personally, my biggest issue with how SNL handled the Trump era was just that they hired out. Of course they're gonna make sketches about Donald Trump, but you have all these new cast members on the show trying to make a name for themselves, and then you overshadow all of them by bringing on Alec Baldwin to play the guy who was already getting 24/7 media coverage. So I understand why this would cause casual viewers of the show to think that 1, they've gotten more political now, and 2, the current cast isn't very good. Both of those are the result of this. But despite often being overshadowed by Alec Baldwin and Jim Carrey, I do think the current cast and writers have done some pretty solid work. Michael and Colin are great together, even though it took them a couple years to not be terrible at update. And although Kyle doesn't always have a huge role on the show, I think Beck has been a perfect cast member because of how versatile he is. Melissa Villaseñor is constantly hilarious. Bowen Yang is already looking like a star in the making. And now they've got this guy, who people DM me to say they thought was me, just because we have the same face, name, and hairstyle. But of course, I couldn't talk about modern SNL without bringing up this.
What I have to say right now might be a little cringe. People are so mean online. To the moon! That's looking like a cap.
This episode was awful. I hated it. It was so difficult to watch that I was actually relieved when Chad showed up. I hate Chad. But even in this terrible episode, there were a few bright spots. I thought the sketch about how all our conversations sound the same now was spot on.
I went to one dinner outdoors and one dinner indoors. Do I have brain damage?
But I'm not going to sit here and say that it was a good episode, because it wasn't. I don't think they should have had him on in the first place, although I understand why they did. That's just what SNL does. Every so often, someone controversial will come host. Whether it's Rudy Giuliani in 1997, former board game mascot Donald Trump in 2015, or Elon Musk. Wait, what? That's the guy who makes self-driving cars and self-exploding spacecrafts. But he's not a comedian/performer. This is gonna be cringe. So then more people watch than usual. It's the talk of the town for a day and a half. And everyone picks the worst sketch of the bunch to post on Twitter and satisfy the SNL Sucks Brigade. And it's a shame, though not a surprise, that this episode got all the attention because they followed it up the next week with Keegan-Michael Key, an iconic sketch performer who brought the exact opposite energy to the show. And then a season finale with Anya Taylor-Joy that had so many excellent bits in it. I think this was actually their best episode in years. I love this rerun of an old game show where they keep having to cut parts out because the celebrities on it all turned out to be terrible people. I loved Beck Bennett as my favorite celebrity, Vin Diesel.
When the movie's not loud enough. When the movie's a little too loud.
And the whole Weekend Update segment was hilarious and culminated in what I assume will be Cecily's send-off after 9 years on the show. There's a very specific group of people who say, SNL's not funny anymore. They haven't done anything funny since Chris Farley left. But then every once in a while they'll be like, this is the funniest thing SNL's done in 20 years. This is the funniest thing SNL's done in 20 years. This is the funniest thing. This is the funniest thing. This is the funniest thing. How many times do you get to say that before realizing maybe the show is still funny sometimes, and my hyperbolic catchphrase isn't as accurate as I thought? So if we're asking the question, is SNL worse now than it's ever been? The answer is no. It's the same as it's always been. The difference is, in 1992, if there was a terrible, unfunny sketch, and there were, people forgot about it the next day. A lot of the reason there's this generation that looks back on the 80s and 90s with rose-colored glasses is because these sketches have been viewed retroactively in the form of best-of DVDs and shortened reruns on VH1, where they condense the episode down into the 3 funniest sketches and the rest quietly disappear off the face of the earth. Nowadays, it takes 5 minutes for a sketch to get ripped onto Twitter and quote retweeted into oblivion. Every failure that happens on the show will get torn to shreds, not necessarily because it's so much worse than it's ever been, but because now it's so much easier to shit all over things. That's like 70% of what the internet, Twitter, and my YouTube channel is. Nostalgia is a drug that causes us to misconstrue our memories. It's human nature to look back on things more fondly because old thing good and new thing bad. And because of its longevity, SNL will always fall victim to this. But more often than not, It's an illusion. I guarantee you this will happen again in another decade when people are like, SNL hasn't been funny since the 2010s. Remember Kate McKinnon and Cecily Strong, Beck and Kyle? Those dudes were stars. This new cast stinks, and they do way too many sketches about President Carlson. When did SNL get so political? My point isn't that you're wrong to not like Saturday Night Live. I love the show, and I will be the first to admit that sometimes it sucks ass. And admittedly, it can feel kind of weird to defend something with a success percentage that would only be impressive if this was baseball. Your time is valuable, and if staying up to watch this show live is not worth it to you, I can't blame you. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna criticize the show, at least try to do it with even a hair of nuance. I agree that at this point there are dozens of other sketch shows and even independent YouTubers who make funnier sketches than what you'll see on a random SNL episode. And I think it's natural to want to compare those things, but it is a little unfair when you consider the process of how they get made. Most sketch shows get worked on for weeks or months at a time. They're written, rewritten, recorded, edited, rewritten again until they're perfect. And if something doesn't turn out the way the writers expected it to, it probably never sees the light of day. SNL doesn't have that luxury. The writers are up for 19 straight hours on Tuesday trying to come up with an idea good enough to make the host laugh, and then they narrow it down to 8 or 9 on Wednesday, and that's pretty much what ends up in the show. So if any of the sketches seem like the insane ramblings of someone who's dangerously sleep deprived, it's probably because they are. I'm pretty sure the only reason that Wario courtroom sketch ever happened was because Elon was like, I want to play a Mario character. And then a couple of the writers spent like an hour and a half trying to make something funny. Like I said, it can feel pretty weird defending something that is so often not good. I like to think that I have pretty good taste when it comes to comedy, so a lot of people, when they find out I enjoy this show, are like, really? You like this? Just know, most people who watch SNL are also critical of them. I don't sit there laughing my ass off at every joke regardless of if it's funny or not, but it's kind of like being a fan of a sports team. They're not gonna win every game. Some seasons are better than others, and it sucks when you see your favorite players move on to a different team. But no matter what, I almost always find something to root for. There's nights where it's like, that episode was kind of rough, but Kyle really shined, or Chloe had those 2 really funny sketches. And that's part of why I enjoy watching it. It's fun to root for these young comedians and watch them get better over time and come into their own. And then one of them ends up in a big movie a few years later. And you're like, I remember watching you when people said, who's this girl? She sucks. But you always believed. You were there from the beginning. And I understand that that kind of thing does not matter to a lot of people, but I like it. SNL is not the pinnacle of comedy, but it's also not the worst show ever made. And if you still feel absolutely certain that the old shows were perfect and the new shows are crap, I would encourage you to go back and watch a random full episode from your favorite season, and you will see that your memory is playing tricks on you. Anyway, I have rambled for 6 hours, geez. I hope you liked this video. I spent pretty much all month on it, so I would appreciate it if you commented something like, you suck, idiot, SNL trashed like you. That would mean the world to me. That being said, I do have bills to pay, and NBC will probably put a copyright strike on this video, so please enjoy this word from today's sponsor. Hi, I'm Walken here. And I'm founder and CEO of PictureOfHotDog.com, this year's winner of the Website Award. I know, I see your comments. Drew, PictureOfHotDog.com hasn't been funny since the 90s. And I'm sorry, I agree. So to try and recapture some of that vintage magic, I've decided to add a brand new topping, 90s outfit. That was before he went bald. As always, I couldn't have made this website without the help of today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is the best way to make the website of your dreams, whether it's an online store where you sell clothes to bugs, or a blog you want to write about all the books you've read and everything in between. Where they really shine, though, is as an online store. I used to sell my own merch on a website that I built with Squarespace, and it was such a simple process that even without any web design experience, I had no issues. From creating your look, setting prices and inventory limits, limits and showing related products under other products, viewing all the analytics you could ever need. They even partner with ShipStation, which is a life-saving feature that helps organize all your shipping labels so you can print them in bulk. So if you're interested in taking your business or creative endeavor to the next level, you can go to squarespace.com/Drew to get started with a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your website, use my promo code Drew for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video, and be sure to check out pictureofhotdog.com at pictureofhotdog.com. Thanks. Well, I'm done, so I think it's time I get out of here. Oh, Lorne, I made the video. Lorne, you in here? I guess I was in my house this whole time, so I did not need to make this video. Oh well, see you tomorrow.
Hey guys, welcome back to my 5th annual Christmas video that I almost never upload in time for Christmas. I wasn't going to do one of these this year. I had something else I was already working on, but then the Samsung TV Plus app that my television defaults to whenever I turn it on ended up on the Christmas movie channel. And I kept accidentally watching the endings of random terrible Christmas movies. And it made me realize that that's the funniest part of the movie. You have no context, no idea who anyone is or how we got here, but you still get to see every weird storyline resolve itself. The first one I saw was The Search for Secret Santa, and this is the exact moment that I jumped into, so you have as much context going into this as I did.
Okay, bye. Jackson? Are you defacing the beam?
Are you defacing the beam? I'm sorry, but that is a perfect line.
Yeah, I was in the process of defacing the beam.
Jackson, you know that property damage between $200 and $1,000 is a first-degree misdemeanor.
Yeah, I just needed your final approval.
My final approval for what?
For defacing the beam.
This is a place of forever love, and I wanted to write Sophia and Jackson inside the heart. Can I?
My name's Rebecca, but sure.
Wait, here. I made this for you.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
You lifted my curse.
There was a curse?
Jackson, the real curse was me thinking that true love had to be like a fairy tale, when the fact is, real life and the real you are far better.
Wow, that's a huge backhanded compliment. Thank you. I used to think that I would meet someone perfect, but you taught me that my standards were way too high. Huh? Settling for you was the best decision I've ever made. Okay, but even after all that, you are not prepared for the final 12 seconds of this movie. Why did they choose that frame? So at this point, I was just determined to watch as many Christmas movie endings as I could over the past couple weeks, and that's exactly what I did. Up next, we've got Holiday Road Trip, starring none other than Christy North. Now, when I saw that she was in this, I assumed she must act in a bunch of Christmas movies, right? Because that's just what some actors do. They find their niche and then only do that forever. But as far as I can tell, this is the only other Christmas movie that this actress has ever been in, which makes this pretty special. So it seems like she's found herself in a bit of a love triangle here.
What's he doing here?
These two men can't stop fighting over her.
I need to ask you something.
Hey, well, easy, just easy, pal.
Back off, Chief, before I get all kinds of ninja on you. And what's up with the Band-Aid? Drive out here on your face?
Huh?
Drive out here on your face?
One more time?
Drive out here on your face?
Drive at her on your face?
Drive out here on your face?
Hey, go ahead and comment down below what the fuck you think that guy just said, because I don't know. It seems like they're pretty deep into this love triangle because both of these men propose to her, and they're both really good at it, too.
We should get married.
Give me your hand.
I have feelings for Christy North.
Who's she gonna choose? Is it gonna be the guy covered in bruises who was repulsed by the way she decorated her home?
I had no idea that you lived like this.
No, it's the other guy who seems normal. Wow, the dog is not happy about this. Relax, boy, it's fine. Well, that seemed like a pretty standard Christmas movie ending. I'm sure they're not gonna just throw in something insane, right? What? That might be some of the worst Photoshop I've ever seen in a movie. So far. Another movie I really loved was Second Chance for Christmas. Not a single character in this one seems to act like a normal human being.
Mom? Dad?
Did you hear that? Sounds like there's a voice in our home. Should we turn around and look? Nah, who's got the time?
Cherry Bear!
But I especially loved going into it during this scene, which is very funny out of context.
I have an idea, and I need your guys' help. It's gonna sound a little crazy.
Cuts to them in like full body cast. Well, that didn't go as planned.
Excuse me, where's Mrs. Barnes' room?
Are you friend or family?
Hello, sorry, I'm very busy. I can't look up right now.
Oh, you just missed visiting hours. It's family only. Oh my gosh. You're Chance Love.
Yeah, in the flesh.
Yeah, I brought my flesh with me.
Look, is there any way that you could sneak me into my friend's room? I mean, it is Christmas.
Come on, there's no rules on Christmas.
I'm not supposed to. But I'm happy to make an exception this time.
Chance, what are you doing here?
Chance, you brought your flesh.
Brian, I asked, am I interrupting?
Oh, I don't know. Is she? Fuck, I hadn't thought about it. I don't think she's interrupting, but how do we know for sure?
All of your mom's bills are paid for.
Thank you.
Oh, she sang a song. Is that Jerry? Why is Jerry from Parks and Rec smoking a cigar in this hospital?
It's the ketchups, it's the mayos, it's the relishes. And again, technically...
Oh, they were ghosts. Now I understand. Turns out even when you only watch 6 minutes of a movie, it can still be boring as hell. I had really high hopes for Cowboy Christmas, but that shit almost put me to sleep.
Hey.
Sorry you walked in on me kissing my horse. And now that my hat's off, we can talk about hats off to Christmas.
What's your biggest Christmas wish?
My first one is actually for my mom. I want her to get back together with her boyfriend.
Oh, that's not really something Santa can do.
I didn't realize your mother had a boyfriend, Scott.
Well, she never actually really called him that. But if you love someone, doesn't that just make them your boyfriend?
You know, I never thought about it like that, but he's right. Hey, Amanda, you're my boyfriend now.
Tell me, what's your Christmas wish?
Well, I'm not really sure if you can grant my second wish.
He's not gonna wish for what I think he is he? Wow, I guess science is no competition for the magic of Christmas. Oh my God, she just pulled Santa's beard off! All right, well, let's mix it up a little bit and talk about one of my favorite subgenres of Christmas movies, dog Christmas movies. In fact, right on YouTube.com, you've got The Dog Who Saved Christmas, The Dog Who Saved Christmas Vacation, and The Dog Who Saved the Holidays. Oh, they're including other holidays in this one? No, that's just another word for Christmas. So we enter this one on two bad guys who are trying to hunt some dogs, but then they get hit in the head by the guys they work for, even though it seems like they were doing their job. As you can see, their boss is very Italian.
This thing is a fugazi.
And since the tree topper they stole turned out to be a fake, the Italian guy decides to cut off their thumbs.
Guess we're gonna have to settle for their thumb. I get a pretty penny for them on the black market.
Who is buying thumbs on the black market? Man, I know what I'll be wishing for this Christmas. Don't worry, guys, I didn't actually lose my thumbs. Just a little bit of movie magic here.
Hold on.
Oh, he's saying goodbye.
No! Timber!
Oh my God, they're dead from that. The dogs are murderers.
Booyah!
Is that who I think it is?
That's Tony Rowe, the infamous loan shark.
He was hiding under this tree.
We frisked them good. They're clean thanks to these dogs.
The dog?
Oh, you know, 4 legs, tail. I've never seen a person with a tail. They're not, they're animals. All right, now you're just making shit up. Next one that caught my attention was Dog Napped, Hound for the Holidays. And I entered the movie during a scene where it seems like the main characters are trying to prove that they didn't kidnap the dog, who we know from the title, but no one believes them until they present their evidence.
If that's not enough,
Roll 'em.
Roll that flash drive, and then just hit any button in the middle of the remote, and the video will start playing.
Thanks for the summer collection designs. I've always hated stealing your work, but your designs are just so much better than mine.
Good thing they've got this HD security footage of the criminals admitting how and why they committed the crime. Otherwise, they'd be screwed.
Everybody, put your hands up.
Whoa, what the fuck?
And don't even think about trying to stop me if you really care about what happens to this dog. Don't get me!
All right, that's it. Come on.
Wait, there was a cop there the whole time? There were two cops? What, were they just waiting for the dog to save the day?
I've always known that your sketches were the driving force behind the product line. How would you like to be the new face of the brand going forward?
The face of the brand?
Yes, she got the job at the company. I'm so proud of her.
It's been a crazy week and an even crazier night.
Yeah, someone brought a gun.
Looks like you have a new job and a new dog.
I guess I owe you a reward for helping me find him.
Sex?
$75 and a Christmas wish, I believe.
That's not sex.
And like you said, never underestimate
The value of a Christmas wish.
Yes, I did say that earlier in the movie, probably. Wow, what a passionate kiss. I like that they don't move, even a little bit. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the production value of these movies so far, because it's only going downhill from here. The next one, I think, is an original movie made by the YouTube channel Family Central, and it's called Doggone Christmas.
No offense, but this is the most fun I've had in years. How are you doing there, little fella?
He's such a cutie.
The basketball?
Oh, we just sit back and wait for them to make the next move.
I know what's going on in this movie. I don't think the dog talked in that last movie, but he definitely does in this one. I like that he kind of goes in and out of doing a Trump impression.
Trust me, guys. This is how it has to happen. It's for the best.
Okay, I trust you. Me too. We all do.
I'd trust you with my life. Yeah, we'd kill someone if you wanted us to. Now you can obviously see where this is going. The kids are gonna get on their bicycles and try to outrun a helicopter. And somehow it worked.
Goodbye, Murphy.
Goodbye, kiddo. See ya. I hope this works.
Oh, what's going on?
They say don't try this at home.
The dog's gonna set off some dynamite. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Showtime!
That wasn't part of the plan.
Oh, what? That was the dog's idea? He set up that TNT all on his own?
Are you guys okay?
Yeah, we're fine. What about Murphy?
Well, that's not a great start to Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I'll say. What a, like, nonchalant thing to say when their dog just died in front of them. Sorry about that, kids. But you know how Mondays can be.
Well, looks like that does it for the month.
Seems so.
Looks like there's nothing left for us to do but pack up and clear out of this one-horse town.
Looks like we've accomplished our mission. Can you talk normally for 5 minutes?
Who's ready for some hot chocolate?
Not really in the mood, Dad. Our dog just exploded.
I can't possibly drink all this hot chocolate by myself. I mean, I could try to drink it all by myself. Let's see.
Oh, you don't have to.
Yeah, that's a lot of hot chocolate.
No one forced you to do that.
Mr. Gernsback, after hearing of your recent departure from Galaxy, we'd like to know if you'd be at all interested in the position of lead developer here at Smart House Toys.
I got the job! I got the job! This is the best Christmas ever.
The best Christmas ever?
Couldn't possibly get any better. Murphy?
Murphy!
Yay! He didn't explode! We were so sure that he did! But it's not the end, because they wrote an original song. That guy's name is Johnny Roast Beef Santori, courtesy of Egg Records. This movie's not real, but alas, it is real. And it's not the only film in the Doggone saga. Let's see how Doggone Adventure ends.
What's this, guys?
Oh, they really, amped up the special effects in this one, huh? Awesome job, guys. It looks really good.
They're catching up! What do I do?
Oh boy, their backs are up against the wall now. How do you think they'll get out of this one? Remember to smash that like button to lock in your answer. All right, let's find out.
Malfunction. Malfunction.
It was D. It was D.
And then they got rid of the other one by creating an intersection that she had to stop at. I'll say it, that's actually really fun.
I really like how this production company went from a pretty simple dog Christmas movie to one that is entirely reliant on special effects. Like, yeah, it looks like shit, but this is probably done by one guy and it took him forever.
I'm gonna miss you, Murph.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye, Murphy.
Man, that ending left me with a lot of questions that probably would have been answered if I had watched the rest of the movie, but I already decided that that's not what this video is. Anyway, once I started watching these Family Central movies, I couldn't stop. The production value here is just unmatched.
The next one was
Christmas Staycation.
Matt, can you make a fire, please?
Is that guy dead?
Matt.
What? All right, Me too.
Definitely seems like he could have just walked around them. It was kind of rude.
I'm stuck in the chimney!
There's a guy up there?
Miss Madison, what are you doing up there? Get me the hell out of here, and then we can play 20 questions.
You feeling better, Grandpa?
What, me? Sure. Takes a lot more than that to knock your old grandpa off his game.
Oh, I get stuck in chimneys all the time.
I still love you, Grandpa.
I would hope so.
What was that?
What?
That noise from the basement, that whining, barking sound.
I don't believe this!
Yeah, your grandpa left you a puppy down in the basement 2 weeks ago, actually. Probably should have left him some food.
You can't just buy her a dog without our permission.
Unbelievable.
You had a dog when you were a kid? Every kid should have a dog.
Someone gonna pick that tree up?
This next one's called Christmas Coupon, and I like that in what seems to be one of the most important scenes of the movie. It sounds like the entire audio was recorded after the fact.
Oh, hey, Pastor Chris. What are you doing here?
Hello, Doctor. How is your day going?
I'm so sorry. Leaving you was the biggest mistake I ever made. It should have never happened.
I didn't edit this, all right? This is exactly how the movie looks and sounds. Well, I think that's enough Christmas for 1 year. After all, it is December 27th. I guess what I'm most disappointed by is that none of these movies touched on the true meaning of Christmas. Getting people to buy products. Let's cut to a commercial.
Hi. You ever do that thing where it's lunchtime, so you go to make yourself a sandwich, but when you open the fridge, you remember that you never bought any sandwich ingredients, so the only sandwich you can make is just 3 slices of bread? Yeah, me too. Which is why I can't stop using today's sponsor, Factor. Factor takes the best part of meal prepping, which is having meals already prepped, and skips all the other steps where you have to actually source and cook the food. Every time they send me one of these boxes, Amanda and I get so excited that we accidentally eat all 6 meals in like 2 days. But I'm just so happy that I don't have to cook. And it's not because I don't know how to cook, because I do. It just sucks that you have to do it like every day forever. What I also love about Factor is the variety of it, unlike typical meal prep where you end up having to eat the same thing 4 days in a row. So I can have a taco salad one day, pork chops the next day, and then pasta later that same day. You can easily choose your meals from the app and even skip delivery weeks if you need to. You can also prioritize meals that are low calorie or high in protein so they fit into whatever your preferences are. They're never frozen and they go from being in your fridge to in your mouth in less than 2 minutes of standard microwave time. Man, I have got to try this stuff. We're the same guy. So if you want to get in on that sweet food action, click the link in the description and use my promo code DREW50 for 50% off your first Factor box. Again, that's 50% off your first box when you use my promo code DREW50. Thank you so much, Factor, for sponsoring today's video and for mailing food to my house.
Wow, what a product, huh? Thank you so much for watching today's video and hanging out with me on Christmas. Now, some people might say that I uploaded this video too late for Christmas because it already happened. But what they don't realize is I'm actually just really early for next year's Christmas. So I'm actually a really good YouTuber.
All right, everyone, have a great day.
This video is sponsored by Rocket Money, and there's nothing you can do about that. Hey guy, it's that time of year again, the beginning of a new one. And that means it's time for all of us to turn over a new leaf, to strive to be better versions of ourselves for anywhere from 10 to even 12 days. Like a lot of people, I'm starting the year off with the goal of trying to eat healthier and struggling to do it because my brother just gave me 100 pounds of candy for Christmas. I've learned that for me personally, the easiest way to eat relatively healthy on a consistent basis is to just meal prep the same few meals over and over again. I do a lot of chicken and rice that I douse in hot sauce. Sometimes I'll put that chicken in a burrito that I douse in hot sauce. I also do a lot of ground turkey pasta. And of course, my signature dish, one slice of bacon cooked too long, now it looked like a turd. And all of these are equally delicious, but I'll admit sometimes I grow tired of the same 4 meals and I'd like to expand my repertoire. Lucky for me, there's a whole world of information available right from my mobile device, and over the years I've bookmarked dozens of delicious looking recipes. There's just one problem. I've never actually cooked any of them. I have a whole folder of saved recipes on Instagram that I add things to constantly. I don't think I've ever even opened it. Gun to my head, I couldn't tell you one thing that's in there. So my goal for this video is to not just pretend that hypothetically one day I might cook something that I see online if all of the ingredients fell right into my lap and someone preheated my oven for me. No, I'm cooking everything I see. I don't care if it looks good. I don't care if it looks disgusting. For the next week, every time I see a recipe online, I'm gonna stop whatever I'm doing, drive my ass to the store, and come back home and make it. I might even eat it too.
Let's make these crispy Parmesan broccoli sticks. Peel your stalk and slice into fry shape. Coat them in a mixture of olive oil, grated parm, garlic, and lots of spices. Dip the flat side into freshly grated Parmesan and bake for 15 minutes.
Okay, so technically I already saw this before I started making this video, but I still want to make it because I only found out recently that you can even eat that part of the broccoli. I've just been composting it every time. Now, is some of its nutritional value lost when I smother it in oil and cheese? Yeah, probably a little bit. But Parmesan literally has protein in it, and that means it's good for you. I've never peeled this part of a broccoli before. Hope I'm doing this right. All done. Olive oil, garlic. I don't know what spice that is exactly. I'm just gonna do like some paprika, which is way too much, and some more garlic. Music love, because I have sensitive skin. Where are all my sensitive skin heads at? Never mind. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Look at that.
Dip the flat side into freshly grated Parmesan.
I'll get what I can on there. I'm definitely about to run out. I've only done like 3 of them. All right. Probably could have used some more cheese, I'll say it.
What is it?
Broccoli.
Oh, it's broccoli.
Yes, broccoli stems with a bunch of crap on them. I need to make it again in the air fryer with more cheese and less spice. And I need to make sure I grate them properly because I think some of them have like a little bit of the outside, but I don't know where the outside stops and the middle begins. I don't know the inside of a broccoli very intimately.
I do. Okay, so I have an experiment. I have 2 starters going on here. This one is named Thunder, and this one is named Lightning. And then I fed it for the first time this morning because it doubled in size, and now, even since this morning, it's grown about this much. And then Lightning over here, this one hasn't grown yet. I just started this one this morning. So I'm excited to see how these turn out.
I'm 5 days into being back in a calorie deficit diet, and I have yet to have a pizza omelet. They're by far one of my favorite low-calorie meals.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna make upside-down egg pizza for breakfast. That wasn't on my 2025 bingo card. Oh wait, it actually was.
Seminole Hard Rock Tampa is excited to bring you live craps, roulette, and sports betting.
This is a very precise recipe. He said 15 pepperonis, not one more, not one less. 14, 15, 16. Guess that'll just be our little secret.
Okay, mine aren't really flat like his. It's like they don't want to be cooked.
Oh yeah, this is looking like a pizza now. Shit. I feel like I need a 3rd egg in there. Wow, I'm really bad at this. I just went to Italy a few months ago, and let me tell you, this right here, this is pizza. I guess I have to judge its doneness based on how much it jiggles.
We got a little bit of a jiggle left, so we're gonna cover for a little bit longer.
I guess my worst fear is because I have to flip this eventually. What if it's like still really soggy and not done, and I go to flip it and it's just like raw egg all over my face and torso? I don't want that. Time for the flip. Nope. It's heavier than I thought it would be. Or what if I what if I just did that? Does it look as good as his did? No. But does it taste as good? How would I know? I haven't taken a bite yet. No, that's not the face I wanted to see. This is the face I wanted to see. I mean, I didn't make this because I was like, oh, Amanda will love this. I made it because I had to. It has such a strong odor.
think it's pretty good, actually. It just tastes like an omelet. I mean, that's pretty much
Yeah,
what it is.
nothing really to say about this.
It tastes the way it looks.
If this just had another tortilla on top and more cheese
Hiding
on
its
top,
contents.
yeah, it just looks really ugly.
You don't like the way this looks?
I just don't like the way it looks.
It's definitely uncanny valley territory. It looks too much like a pizza, but not enough like a pizza. It almost looks like an AI-generated pizza. Like it has this weirdly cartoonish look to it. I like it.
If you don't have a lot of time in the mornings but looking for a delicious and easy high-protein snack, these breakfast Hot Pockets are only 300 calories with 32 grams of protein and perfect for meal prep.
I don't want to make eggs again.
Feel the luck of the dice. Watch the roulette wheel spin and scream for your touchdown.
All right, so I already fucked up two things about this recipe. One, I was supposed to buy egg whites to mix with the eggs, and I bought egg stirs by mistake. That's not that big of a deal. That's just like a calorie difference. But where I really messed up was I was supposed to buy plain yogurt, and I bought vanilla yogurt. Sure, vanilla is relatively plain in the grand scheme of all flavors, but for this recipe, I don't think that's what he was going for. I think this is as good a time as any to point out that if there's any recipes that I make in this video and I don't like it, it's probably not the recipe's fault. It's probably mine.
No, this is awesome. This is exactly what I wanted to be doing right now. Is this right? Does this look right to you?
I think I stuck my hands in a little prematurely.
I know this extra flour was probably overkill, but this got so sticky, I just felt like I had to intervene somehow. Not right now, please.
Well, it looks like something. It looks better than it did 5 minutes ago.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, look at us. We're doing it, guys.
Well, I'm doing it. You haven't helped at all.
Just a nice, easy meal prep. This will make your mornings very simple.
There's no way I'm gonna fit this many eggs on these. They're so tiny. What did I do wrong?
Besides, well, most of the steps so far.
I love 20 pounds of eggs. I love to look at it. I love to smell it.
This might be the best meal I've ever made. Yeah. This looks pretty good.
If anyone is watching this video so far and is like, boy, I sure do hope Drew doesn't transition into cooking content because I don't want to watch any more of this, don't worry. I'll probably never step foot inside a kitchen ever again. Just wanted to try something new for the new year. New year, new me. That's what they say. But I can't wait to go back to the old me. The old me that never tried to do shit like this.
This looks so good.
I do think of myself as a decent chef. I think I'm pretty competent in the kitchen. But there are things that I'm good at making, and clearly there are things I'm bad at making. I don't want this to be an indictment on my overall cooking ability, okay? This has nothing to do with how good I am at roasting chicken or grilling wings. Wings are not really that hard to make, and I'm also really good at spaghetti, which is like notoriously pretty easy. Maybe I'm just good at like the baby shit. I'm just gonna put this on as is, and we're just gonna see what happens to that little fucked up one in the corner. Hey, that wasn't so bad.
Look at this delicious meal. I think it's still undercooked. It's so funny, he was like, sear it on both sides for 5 minutes each. I did that and cooked it in the oven for like almost 40 minutes. I mean, it tastes like a Hot Pocket. Whether or not that's a good thing is up to you.
I mean, it's a little dense.
It's like a brick. Yeah, I think the dough was more my fault. I don't think I made it thin enough before I packed everything in.
What would be better is to just use a tortilla and then just make like a little crunch wrap. And I feel like that would just be 100 times easier. And you could probably meal prep that too.
I like it better than yesterday.
Yeah, you didn't like that pizza.
This is a pizza.
What do you think pizza is?
This is pizza.
I hope you like that because I got 6 more of them.
This is my go-to dish I make when I don't feel like cooking.
Perfect. It'd be nice to have a little break after that fiasco I went through this morning.
It's called arrayas. It's basically a meat stuffed pita, and it takes less than 30 minutes to make.
Oh.
We're gonna use ground beef and add garlic, feta, parsley.
Sorry,
and then we're gonna open up our pita halves and start stuffing them. Sear them on both sides.
Actually starting to look a little bit like cooking.
It turns out so juicy, and now we just enjoy.
You know what I make when I don't feel like cooking? Bag of chips.
Maybe just like a bowl of canned tuna.
She said in the video, I promise you're not gonna undercook this.
And I promise the meat fully cooks.
I don't know about that. I think you would be shocked at my ability to undercook anything. Or I guess more accurately, to severely overcook anything out of fear of undercooking it. I'm such a hypochondriac that if I even make even a slightly pink burger, which is how I like it, by the way, I'll work myself up the next 2 days being like, does my stomach hurt because I contracted a foodborne illness? Or does my stomach hurt because I'm nervous about the possibility of having contracted a foodborne illness?
I can't wait to lick my fingers when I'm done. look good to you? Wow, I touched that for 10 seconds and my hands are itchy. Where are all my eczema heads at? Please ignore the mess over here. I wasn't expecting company today. It looks so good on the outside, but I know it's still raw on the inside. Cooking is scary. What if I die? All right, moment of truth. This woman's trying to kill me. It would be so helpful to know how hot I was supposed to make it.
It looks really good on the side.
This one I gave a little bit longer, and it is completely raw.
She promised it would be fully cooked.
Am I stupid? Ow. This one looks fine. That just looks like a burger. Let's make a little sauce here. God damn. Shit, that's really good. I've never thought to fry pita bread like this. It just tasted like an empanada, which is great. Empanadas are delicious. I've made empanadas before. The ones I made were like a lot of work. It would take me like 2 hours to do everything. I'm gonna say that this one that is still raw is my fault. I can't tell you how many times I've tried making burgers and I'll like confidently take it off thinking it's done, and then it fucking looks like this. No shade to her. I just don't think that she should have ever trusted me to cook something properly. I am going to cook the meat and then stuff it in and then brown the sides. Now, is this one gonna taste as good? Probably not, but is it a little bit safer to eat? Yeah, because I burnt it. Yeah. Definitely dried that one out. There's a happy middle ground between putting it in completely raw and putting it in already cooked. Sorry, Bim Bim. I can't feed you this week. I haven't gotten any Instagram reels for cat food. Nah, I'm just kidding, brother. Honestly, so far, this challenge isn't as bad as I feared it might be. I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. I'm learning new things. I'm actually pretty excited to see what's next. What the fuck?
Dozens of questions sprang to mind as my eyes tried to make sense of what they were seeing. Questions like, what? And why? But for the sake of this video, the only one I really needed to answer was how. So I enlisted the help of my friend Internet Shaquille, who you may know from his cooking YouTube channel or from the only Vine of his I could find on this website.
Dunkin' Crumpers?
He responded almost instantly with an answer that would have taken me weeks to figure out on my own. It's cheese. Really wet cheese with pistachios in it for some reason. He even found a website to buy this exact concoction from, but that, of course, would be cheating. I needed to make this on my own. Without access to pre-made mozzarella curd, I would need to order citric acid and animal rennet, two things I definitely knew existed before this week.
What the hell am I doing, man?
But first, a short commercial break.
Hi, I've made zero progress escaping the void, and I'd like to tell you a story. A couple years ago, I got my credit card info stolen, and I didn't notice for almost a year because the only thing this person bought with my credit card was a Hulu subscription. And I didn't notice because I was also paying for Hulu. So even though I did see the occasional Hulu charge, I just assumed it was me. The only reason I eventually found out what was going on was because of the other thing that they bought, 2 tickets to SeaWorld San Diego. That's when I knew something was up. Even to this day, I often find myself lying awake at night thinking about all the money I wasted on that phantom account and how it could have all been avoided by using today's sponsor, Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that, amongst other things, shows you all of your subscriptions in one place so you can easily see how much you're paying for all of them and how often you're paying for all of them. Not only can this bring attention to things you might have forgotten you've been paying for, but they even offer to cancel subscriptions for you directly from the app. No need to call customer service, no need to skim through 5 pages of, "Are you sure you want to cancel? We really don't want you to." They also create customized budgets and help me get a bird's eye view of my overall monthly spending. What categories I tend to spend the most money on, what categories I should probably be spending less on. When using all of the app's premium features, Rocket Money's helped save its customers up to $740 per year, and they've also saved their customers over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. To take control of your finances today, go to rocketmoney.com/Drew Gooden to get started for free. Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video.
I've been procrastinating this all week, pretty much. I think the part that sucks the most is I love mozzarella. The idea of making fresh mozzarella sounds delicious. The videos I watched, they make it look delicious. But I have to go through all this work to make it, and then at the end, stuff it with a bunch of Italian bologna and pistachios, all because of some dumbass Instagram reel. Well, let's get started. I found this very nice Irish lady on YouTube whose recipe I will be following for this. I love this video because she gets increasingly more excited as it goes on, and it's infectious. Now I'm excited.
Look at how gorgeous those cheese curds are. Oh my gosh. This is so exciting.
I'm so nervous that the largest pot I have is not gonna be big enough for this. Oh my God. Oh my God, close call there. I just want to drink it, that's the problem. The real challenge of this recipe is resisting my primal urges.
Using a thermometer, stir your milk frequently until it reaches 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius.
I do have a thermometer, but I don't have a nifty thermometer holding device. Wait, what am I talking about? Of course I do. It's called my hand. Anyone else's mouth watering, or is that just me? Yeah, check out those lumps. All right, 90 degrees. Remove it from the heat without knocking my camera over. Another burden in all of this is the need to film every step of it.
Stir in the rennet mixture for around 30 seconds.
All right, that felt pretty thorough. Gotta put the lid on. Come back in 5 minutes. Oh man, I'm really nervous about this.
Okay, the moment of truth. Take off your lid and check if you have curds. And there you see it. It's a lovely wobble and it's nice and thick. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I am delighted.
Well, that's not right. Okay, try keeping that covered for a few more minutes. Not really sure what I did wrong there. The most recent comment on this video is, well, I fucked that up. I mean, I'm using the same rennet. Sets in 30 to 45 minutes, it may take longer. Maybe 5 minutes isn't enough. I might need to give this like half an hour. Pretty similar. It's supposed to basically be a solid at this point. I'm supposed to like slice it. That's why it's so much easier to just never do anything you've never done before. All right, well, it's been an hour. Oh my God. It worked, I think. I just went to the store to buy new milk thinking I was gonna have to do a second batch. This is so exciting.
I am delighted.
Okay. Not quite as thick as I thought. Shit. I think I can still make this work. Whatever big curds I thought I had, they have not materialized. At best, this looks like cottage cheese, but even that, it's like runny cottage cheese. I thought I had such big curds, man. What happened to my curds?
Just look at how wobbly and jiggly it is, just like the way you see fresh mozzarella. We are going to squeeze our cheesecloth as tight as we can to get out as much liquid as possible.
It doesn't feel like mozzarella. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, this is purely just liquid. I mean, she had a pot full of curds. I maybe have a fistful. It's like if you poured a bunch of rice into a pool and then tried to fish it all out. Just soldiering on as if every part of this process doesn't look completely wrong.
Place the curds in your hot whey for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, remove the cheese and stretch it as much as you can and fold it over on itself. When you're done, create a smooth ball by tucking the edges underneath and kind of shaping it in your hand, just like the way I'm doing. Look at this scene. This makes me so happy. I feel like I'm in the countryside in Italy somewhere. There you go. That's it. That's all our hard work paying off right there. This is exactly what I was going for. Absolutely gorgeous.
How's your bread doing?
I think I killed him.
These low-calorie and high-protein pepperoni pizza pockets are the perfect snack you can easily meal prep to take to work or school and can be stored in the freezer for weeks.
For the first time in my life, YouTube Shorts actually did something good for me here. Most of the ingredients you need to make this, I already had from that egg pizza the other day. My dumbass just rolled up to the checkout line at Publix with 2 things in my cart. They laughed me out of the damn building. Also, for your guys' benefit, I went ahead and did the boring part, and you get to watch me attempt to mash all of this crap into these tiny little tortillas. He does this sort of like triangle fold. Okay. Yeah, that kind of works. Wait, how does he close them? I got 2 cameras right now and neither of them are pointed at what I'm doing. So then seal it at the top. I will say, this was kind of fun actually. Maybe cooking's not so bad after all. It kind of looks like an ice cream cone, huh? My only concern so far is they're not really staying closed. I didn't really do that part very well. And now I'm just getting my fingers all greasy for no reason. I also made some of them way too fat, I think. A lot of things I could have done differently here, but too late. Gotta put it in the oven. I don't know if it's just because I'm really hungry right now. But this is probably the best thing I've made so far. I didn't really get it to seal over here, but I don't think that matters that much. I honestly like this a lot. Really, the only remaining test is seeing how much acid reflux I get in about 2 hours.
A lot.
Let me show you how to make some incredible crispy beef tacos. These came out ridiculously good.
No, please don't make me eat a delicious taco. This challenge sucks. He wasn't super exact with the measurements. He did say 1 onion, but then just kind of threw in a wad of beef. Looked like maybe 2 pounds. I got 1.5. Hope I didn't fuck everything up.
Make your own taco seasoning, it's worth it.
I made the seasoning mix myself. Why are you looking at me like that? You think I just bought one from the store? You don't know anything about me. Ow. 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 Wish I had longer tongs. Wish I could be like this far back so it would stop burning my fingers. Oh yeah. That looks pretty good. It's not your ideal taco because it's mostly beef. If we had limes, that would go good with this. Do we have limes? Now she likes it. Fellas, if your girl don't like something, just put some lime juice on it. She'll go, The more oil you use in a video recipe, the better you can make something look, but like, it really just tastes like oil. When I was driving back to Publix to get my second onion, my mouth was watering thinking about these. And she said she didn't like it that much.
I'm hungry.
Oh yeah. They look like little turds.
I probably just like a frozen banana.
How did he do that? The most delicious, high-protein, honey garlic butter chicken mac and cheese.
Somehow I managed to make the macaroni and cheese and the chicken the exact same color.
What are we having for dinner? Tan. Mac and cheese.
You don't like it?
It's a weird aftertaste. This is probably the worst one yet. Not good.
I don't know what I did wrong.
I think it's just the taste of the cheese. I don't like.
The pasta tastes really funky. I get a lot of YouTube shorts or Instagram reels that are like, here's a low-calorie version of a food you like, and they, sub all of the regular ingredients for low-fat or low-calorie version. And the whole goal is to make it look like the food you like. And this looks like it would be good mac and cheese. The chicken, maybe not so much, but this looks like it should be good, but it doesn't taste right. It tastes so funky. I think mac and cheese is just one of those foods where you either need to go all out and just have the creamiest, butteriest, cheesiest mac and cheese that you can, or just not have it at all. God damn it.
No, I can't go out like this. A full week of trying new meals and this is what I ended on? Some stupid little mac and cheese crap? Hell no. I needed to go out like a man. I needed to eat a meal made for a big, strong guy like myself. And that's when I found the perfect recipe.
Spicy noodles, 2 cans of Vienna sausage, chorizo, 2 huevos, and some pickles with 3 scoops of peanut butter.
Now this is what cooking is all about. All my favorite foods all in one meal. An entire day's worth of calories just sitting in a bowl I can slurp up like a dog.
What do you say we dig into this bad boy, huh? Yeah, I mean, it just has every flavor you're looking for in a well-balanced meal. You got the salt from the noodles, the salt from the chorizo, the salt from the pickle. I mean, there's gotta be, what, 1,000,000 milligrams of sodium in here? Guess I don't need Gatorade ever again. I got a lifetime supply of electrolytes right here. It just sucks that I'm so full. I'd love to eat more of this, but I'm so full. I had a slice of bread earlier, so it's just no room left.
I started this video under the assumption that I'd been holding myself back all this time. By bookmarking posts and coming up with plans only to never follow through with them, I'd been preventing myself from ever reaching my full potential. I now know that I was wrong. You see, every time you actually make a recipe you see online, you're robbing yourself of the hypothetical version of it you'd created in your mind, replacing it with the real version that requires infinitely more work and almost always tastes worse than it did in your imagination. YouTube Shorts recipes are purely entertainment and should never be recreated by anyone. I went into this video thinking I needed to spark some sort of change in my life, move on to the next step of my evolution as a human being. But what I learned is, that was never going to happen. New Year's resolutions are for people who want to change, and I just don't. Changing is hard. Growing, nearly impossible. Whatever skills you learn by the time you're like 25 are the only skills you'll ever have. And as your body begins its slow but inevitable process of deterioration and your motor skills decline a little bit more every year until you die, remember this: it's too late, and you should have started sooner. Thanks for watching. No, I'm just kidding. That would be an insane way to end this video. My actual takeaway here is it's good to step out of your comfort zone, and even attempting to do so is cause for celebration. Don't beat yourself up if you're bad at something the first time you try it. Just learn from your mistakes and do better next time. I mean, sure, I'll never, ever attempt to make cheese ever again, and after 5 tries, Amanda's completely given up on the whole bread from scratch thing. But just because we gave up doesn't mean you should too. And yeah, maybe my other New Year's resolution was to get back into reading, and through one entire month, I haven't even finished half of one book. But just because I can't cook and I can't read doesn't mean you can't cook and you can't read. You do know how to read, right? I guess all I'm saying is I hope the very low bar I set for you today is inspiring. I truly think anyone can be a better chef than me if they even try at all. Also, I linked all the recipes in the description if you want to try one for yourself. Okay, see you next time.